Okay, what I'm planning on doing now is just removing all the keys from the keyboard. Give the keys themselves a good washing, and I'm thinking about potentially putting the keyboard circuit board through the dishwasher. I'm not sure this metal frame is easily separated from the board. I think you would have to remove all the switches, and I'm not going to be doing that. That's a massive job. Well, if I have to, maybe I will, but first course of action will be to put the whole unit through the dishwasher, give it a good clean, let it dry out for several days, maybe a week, and then revisit, see how it's looking. Yeah, and you can see the grunge that's just built up over the years of this thing, sitting out in a shed. It's pretty bad. The keys themselves actually look in quite good condition. It's just all the grunge that's built up around everything else. So I think I'm fairly confident this will clean up okay. Update. So I've given a good blast with that air spray, compressed air, and as you can see, it's already looking a million times better than what it did just a few minutes ago. It's probably still crud underneath there, and I think I still probably will just put this through the dishwasher just to get most of that crud out from under there. Yeah, but yeah, it's looking a lot better. Good spray, so it's all nice and shiny, and get the swabs and just get in there and get in between the gaps there and give it a good wipe. Okay, I've given it a good wipe over with the alcohol solution, and yeah, it's still quite marked at the top there, but I think that's mostly like surface rust, just starting to come through. Got most of the gunge out from between the key stems. Yeah, I think it's probably ready to stick in the dishwasher and see how that comes out. But looking back, maybe half an hour ago when I took those photos when it was covered in leaves and all sorts of debris, it's looking a lot better. You can see where I've wiped in between the stems there. Give it a good wipe. Still a bit of gunge there. Okay. Here goes. I've never done this before, so let's stick it in the dishwasher and see how this goes. Just put it on a short cycle for my first see how we go. The only problem I didn't realise, which I should have checked for, is the writing on the top of the cap isn't like all the other keys. It's actually paper based, and I've just scrubbed it off. Whoops. So now I'm going to have to relabel that. Alright, the dishwasher is finished. Let's see how it looks. Oh, still nice and hot. Just fogged up the lens. Okay, let that fog disperse, there we go. And let's have a look. Oh, it's still nice and hot. Say, apart from the surface rust, that looks pretty damn good. Time to stick the motherboard in the dishwasher. See how that turns out. Time to see if we can get the rust off that base pan. My original idea of scrubbing it with a metal brush, don't think that was a great one. So I did a bit of research and looking online on YouTube, quite a few people have just used vinegar mixed with water. So I've placed the base pan in the laundry tub. It's probably around 50-50, probably a little bit less, maybe 40% vinegar, 60% water. Just leave that to soak for a few hours. I'll come back and see if it's made any difference. Okay, the base pan has now been in the solution for 24 hours or thereabouts. I've got a good feeling about it because I had a bit of a rub of it this morning, and you can see a couple of sections where it came away, so let's see how we go. You can see the rust is just coming off with a bit of a rub. I'm very happy about that. Look at that, that's excellent. Okay, I've taken the base pan out of the vinegar solution and given it a rinse in cold water, and then I've just gone over the whole thing, both top and bottom, with some of this Gumption all-purpose multi-purpose cleaner, whatever. It's slightly abrasive, so whatever rust had, resurfaced, pardon the pun, I've just taken off with that cleaner, just gave it a bit of a scrub, and that's the end result, ready for painting. And I've taken all the standoffs out, ready to go. Yep, and it should be good to go and give that a paint. It's a nice sunny day, so I'm going to take this outside shortly and give it a paint. Okay, further preparation for painting. I've just covered all the holes in the base plate with painter's tape. The only side I'm going to paint today is this side. I'm now prepared to give it its maiden fire up since being rescued from certain death. So let's plug that in. For the initial power up test, I'm just going to put the speaker in and see if we get a beep. If we don't get a beep, then we know there's issues. No cards, not even the extended RAM card will be going in for the first test. This is purely to see if we get any smoke, basically. If we get a beep, I'll test the temperature of each of the RAM chips, see if any feel hot, because that's an indication that they're no good. We may not get a beep. I'll test that as well. Yeah. So this is the first time it's going to be powered on in many years. Certainly, I don't know how many, but it was disgustingly filthy when I got it. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know whether it'll work. I don't know whether all the chips will be dead. I don't know whether some of the chips will be dead. But this is crunch time. Okay, I've plugged the power supply in, I've got my speaker plugged in. Let's see what happens. Well, that beep doesn't sound too good. We've got power light, we've got a weird beep. Might need to plug it into a monitor and just see what is appearing on the screen. And the chips feel hot. Try that one more time. Interesting. It's cycling through that beep, which to me is a good sign. I mean, that's showing some sign of logic to be doing that. It's not random. Everything's feeling hot. It could be that because the keyboard's not plugged in. I mean, in fact, that's probably what it is, you know. I believe the Apple IIes don't boot up without the keyboard plugged in either. Like a genuine Apple II, I mean. I think my next port of call is to plug the keyboard in. Okay, the keyboard is now plugged in, keys are still removed. Let's give it another test. I unplugged it. Just plug it back in, power off, yes. Okay, let's see what happens this time, if there's any difference in behaviour. That sounds good. That sounds like a promising beep. We've got a power light on. I'm quite confident here, this is looking very good. Alright, time to plug it into a TV. Okay, I brought the computer out to the TV. We're all wired up and plugged in. The power supply is plugged in. The keyboard's plugged in, the speaker's plugged in. Just got some plastic sheeting between the keyboard and the computer so that it doesn't short out. It was making positive sounds in the initial burn up test. So let's fire it up, plug into a TV and see what happens. look at that. It works! It's even gone to a prompt. 2E. You'll be okay. Okay, so if I hold those two Apple keys down and power on, if it follows the conventions of a standard 2E, a genuine 2E, it should go into self-test mode. Let's see what happens. It appears to be a self-test mode. Kernel okay. A funky pattern being drawn. Not sure if that's normal or not. As is usually the case with anything, if you think about it, there's an obvious choice of where to get the RAM replaced from, and that's in the 80-column auxiliary memory card. So I'm going to swap that, or remove it from this card and put it on the motherboard and see if we have different behaviour. Let's just okay, so that's all been replaced. Looks good. And I'll get the self-test going. Look at that, no screen corruption. So one of these RAM chips is not very healthy. That's good, because that should be fairly easy to isolate. In fact, what I might do first up is just put one back at a time until it fails, and then I'll know which is the dodgy one. If I manage to go all the way through, then I'll know that it's probably a case of oxidation on the sockets. Look at that. One chip to go, so there's either one of two possibilities. A, it was oxidation in one of the sockets that is now remedied, or B, it's this very last RAM chip. Let's find out which is the correct answer. Suspension, suspense. Right. Let's see what happens. Is it the chip? Was it oxidation? Top 40 single. Look at that, it was oxidation. Okay, so I've cleaned all the contacts on that card. I've reconnected the drive to it. Let's see if it makes any difference. Ah, it does. It's 2.4.1. Hey, we're in ADT Pro, running on our 2E clone. Next thing to try will be to run some diagnostics. What I'm actually going to do is something I've done before, and that's use the Apple II online disk server, which uses the cassette input on an Apple II or 2E and an audio cable. In this particular case, I'm hooked up to an old Samsung phone, and yeah, I'll be trying to basically write the disk over the internet, write the disk from an image on the internet, stream to the phone, and then play it through the audio cable into an Apple II. Ultima 5 disk 1. Format the disk, and we'll go hi-fi a little bit quicker. So, type load, and then play. That's a good sign. I had a better idea of testing the auxiliary RAM. Why not try a double horrors game? And one close to the top of the list was Earle. I'm sure that's double horrors, so yeah, looking good. Just for laughs, I'm going to see if the AppleCard clone came with this computer is functioning. I noticed at the top of the Apple II disk server an AppleCard boot disk, so it just reminded me that I haven't actually tried this. I've just given it a good spray with isopropyl alcohol and given it a wipe an old toothbrush. Just gently going over everything, and it's come up pretty clean. Slot 4. Just a typical slot for a CPM card. Okay, the AppleCard boot disk is loaded. Press return to reboot. Let's see what happens. Oop, that was not good. We're in an internal reboot. Just on a whim, because nothing has been in these slots yet, I thought I might just give it one more try by removing it and reinserting it and see what happens, and then maybe try a different slot if that doesn't work. So it could be a bit of, I know I've sprayed some contact cleaner down in these slots, but haven't verified that they're working as yet, so different behaviour. One more time. Oh, actually, I'll try it in slot 3, see what happens. Hey, it's working in slot 3. Look at that. We're in CPM. Wow, it works. I'll try slot 4 one more time. Slot 4 does feel a little bit grittier. Maybe there's some stuff in there. Now it's doing the reboot thing again. What about slot 5? Oh, chunky. It's working in slot 5 as well. This is interesting. What's wrong with slot 4? Just a few insertions. Clean it out. Ah. Hey, it worked that time. And that's in slot 4. Cool. So another win. So again, just the simple act of removing the card, inserting the card, removing the card. Every time you're doing that, it's rubbing the fingers of the card into the contacts of the slot. And obviously it's just getting a bit of the corrosion off there if there was some, whatever it was, a bit of dirt, whatever. Just that simple action of removing and reinserting has obviously cleared that away. So let's try it again. I've taken it out, put it back in. It sounds like a bit grindy, but yep, that's okay. Well, another win. The other thing worth mentioning before I put the case back together is that I've taken every single screw out of the case, even the ones out of the power supply. If you can see that, power supply looking nice and shiny clean there. Even the screws that were around the power socket were all rusty. I've removed those and rejuvenated them. Now, the way I've done it is with these old Chinese containers, or actually I had a little glass jar for the first part of the treatment, so I'd take all the screws that were of similar, of the same thread and size, and soak them for a day or two in vinegar, just to get rid of most of the rust, or practically all of the rust actually. And then after that I've given them a rinse, and then put them in these Chinese containers
with WD-40 and get that off. What you can see is that I've had the containers propped up like so, with the screws soaking in the WD-40 solution. So I've sprayed them liberally and then just soaked them for a day or two. And I don't know if you can see, but they're looking very good. No sign of rust. So yeah, time to start putting the standoffs on. Oh, one other thing I should mention. Just get my light out of the way so I can show you. I did mention previously how the bottom, where I taped it all, the other surface was coming off. And I liked the look of this so much, I just sprayed the bottom as well. It's come up really nice. It should last quite well, I think. before I put the case on this 2E clone, there's one other mod I want to do to it, and that is to actually populate, and if you can see, definitely won't be able to see that, on the board there's actually a header up here for a standard DB9 joystick, so a 2E style joystick port as opposed to using the dip socket. I don't actually have any dip socket joysticks anymore, I don't think. I haven't gone through my storage, but I can't think of any that I would have in storage that would have the old style dip plug anymore. So what I'm going to do is actually, I've bought a DB9 PCB mount to support the joystick, and that should just fit in that, and I'll solder that on. So that'll give us a standard 2E joystick port. Now, one problem, and it's a nasty one that poses, is that the case, and I've checked this, and the case is on, whilst the motherboard had a header for the joystick port. I don't know if you can see that, but the actual case itself, the cutout for the Vivio, the video out, and 2 cassette ports, that cutout isn't quite large enough to support the joystick port as well. So I'm going to have to get my Dremel out and just take a little extra piece out of that corner, just so that the header is fully accessible. It's really it's a bit of an oversight. I suppose that's why they didn't populate that DB9 on the board, because their case didn't support it. But you know, by the time the 2E came out, they were pretty much the standard joystick. So especially by '85, when this machine was built, the dip sockets were pretty much a thing of the past by then. So yeah, I'm going to get my Dremel out and see if I can't, just take a small piece out of the case, so that joystick port is accessible. Okay, so the amount of cutting I'm going to have to do is about 1 centimetre across, and just up to meet where the original cutout was from. So I've just drawn that up on the case there, and I'm going to attempt to Dremel that, and hopefully get a nice finish. I'm not a Dremel expert by any means, so we'll see how this goes. pretty good. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. Running things up there. Nice smooth edge, nice smooth there. Pretty much join this seamlessly onto the other join. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Nice brand new DB9 inserted on the board, ready for a joystick. Plastic in place, no short possible. Tui! So we're all back together, we're all still functioning. Last night I pulled all the ROM chips out and confirmed that my suspicion was correct. The 27128 EEPROM holds both the CD and EF ROMs from a genuine Apple II, and it's byte for byte. So they've just, taken an Apple IIe unenhanced ROM and they've just duplicated it and put the CD and EF ROMs on the one chip. I also took the video ROM and the keyboard ROM and compared those against genuine unenhanced ROMs, and yeah, they're byte for byte from what I can tell. So this is literally a rip-off. They've done a great job with the MMU and the IOU, implementing their own versions of those. But as far as the ROMs go, they're just pure rip-offs, which is probably a good thing. That means that this sucker, as far as the ROMs go, is going to be as genuine as you can get. The only possible incompatibilities this machine could possibly have are in their IOU and MMU implementations, but everything I've thrown at it thus far has been fine. But it also means going forward, if I wanted to enhance this motherboard, I can just take genuine enhanced ROMs and upgrade the video ROM and keyboard ROM directly, and then just concatenate the CD and EF ROMs and burn it into this 27128 EEPROM. And put a 65CO2 in it, and then you've got an enhanced TUI, and I may well do that.